It's been a wild week on Wall Street, as they say, because President Trump has been leveraging the power of tariffs, hoping to bring manufacturing back to the United States, causing turbulence in the stock market, which is expected, even a downturn in the market, which is normal. It's just one more thing for the Democrats to complain about. But they're also upset that on Wednesday, there was a historic rise in the market, and some people bought the dip, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're very mad that she bought stocks that were hard hit by the tariffs during the market meltdown.
How concerned are you with this market fluctuation, and are you concerned that there could be members of the White House that are benefiting from it?
Absolutely. I'm writing to the White House to demand who knew in advance that the president was going to once again flip-flop on tariffs, and are people cashing in? There is just all too much opportunity for people in the White House and the administration to be insider trading, and you can't put it past them for a minute. So we're going to try to find out.
Oh, now the Democrats are concerned about insider trading after Nasty Pelosi made a fortune for decades because of her advanced knowledge about coming regulations and insider information by being on intelligence committees, and have been resisting any calls to ban members of Congress from trading individual stocks to avoid those kinds of things. But now they're worried about it. But all you need to do to look for the supposed inside information was check out President Trump's Truth Social feed, where a few hours before he lifted most of the tariffs or put a pause on them for 90 days, he posted, quote, "This is a great time to buy." But because people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who have no idea how the stock market works, I would be willing to bet she doesn't even know the difference between a stock and a bond. So she is also very upset about people buying the dip.
Trump seems to be doing, from tweeting people to buy stock and then later announcing his development on taxes. If people are pissed about insider trading here at the House, look at what's happening at the White House right now and with the Republican Party.
Do you think he knew what he was doing when he sent out that message about stocks before he made the announcement?
This reporter's a real genius.
It sure seemed like he did. I don't think that it was a coincidence. I don't think that Trump just coincidentally said buy stocks and then shortly later made an announcement that dramatically inflated and dramatically raised a lot of these asset prices.
You're a real genius too, lady. Some of the memes that have come out of this are quite hilarious, like this one showing the president of China reading Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, to try to figure out what happened, and it's captured, "Donald is a-hole. He planned all of this." And this one depicting him sending President Trump some DMs trying to negotiate. "Rook, Donald, I have offer for you. Why you no respond, a-hole?" These are the kinds of memes that you would never see anybody on Fox News showing on air or sharing online or laughing about, or anybody really over the Daily Wire, because they're still way too, and always will be, way too politically correct because they're a bunch of cowards. But this is MAGA country, and we're making racist jokes great again. Here's legendary investor Warren Buffett on The Average Moron. My word, not his. He's being very politically correct. The average moron who gets upset when the market has a correction and panics, especially those who aren't going to retire for 10, 20, or 30 years. And I would add those who don't know anything about investing, like a balanced portfolio, those who are just basically gambling by buying some of the popular stocks that they've seen skyrocket over the years.
A lot of investors are told, retail investors are told, that they should have a certain percent of their portfolio in bonds. Maybe they're told 60-40, maybe they're told 70-30 stocks to bonds. That's something that you should do, and that's the safe way of doing it. What are they missing?
Some people should not own stocks at all because they just get too upset with price fluctuations. If you're going to do dumb things because your stock goes down, you shouldn't own a stock at all. No, I mean,
what are dumb things? Selling a stock because it goes down?
selling a stock because it goes down. I mean, if you buy your house at $20,000 and somebody comes along the next day and says, "I'll pay you 15," you don't sell it because the quote's 15. You look at the house or whatever it may be. But some people are not actually emotionally or psychologically fit to own stocks. But I think more of them would be if you get educated on what you're really buying, which is part of a business. And the longer you hold stocks, the less risky they become. Whereas the longer the maturity of a bond, the more risky it becomes.
That's right, because if you look at the S&P 500 index over the last 30 years, you can notice a definite pattern. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up higher, it goes down. It goes up higher, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. You get the point. If you missed my previous videos from earlier this week, be sure to go check them out. A lot of data in there I'm not going to repeat in this report. Michigan's Democrat Governor Gretchen Whitmer is between a rock and a hard place because she needs the support of the auto workers in her state to get reelected, who support the tariffs because obviously they want manufacturing jobs for automobiles to come back into the state, to stay in the state. But she can't support President Trump because she has Trump derangement syndrome and has been drinking too much of her Kool-Aid. So she said this.
I understand the motivation behind the tariffs. And I can tell you, here's where President Trump and I do agree. We do need to make more stuff in America. More cars and chips. More steel and ships. We do need fair trade.
Come on, Botox brain, you can say it. The tariffs are great. Just like Chuck Schumer used to say back in 2011 when he was railing against China, taking advantage of our trade policies. But that was then, and this is now.
Consumer confidence is down a record amount, more than in a decade, because consumers are saying, if these tariffs are going to hit, I better not go on that vacation to see grandma. I better not buy that new car. I better not, upgrade the groceries I'm buying.
Upgrade groceries. No one is going to cancel their trip to see grandma because of the tariffs, but most Americans should buy less groceries or not upgrade them or supersize them or whatever the heck he was talking about, because the vast majority of Americans are morbidly and disgustingly obese and should immediately stop buying ice cream, cookies, cake, soda, all junk food, and instead, for the next year, only eat chicken breast, carrots, broccoli, rice, and grapefruit. Pigs like Dave Portnoy, who's a big sports ball expert who made like $100 million selling a sports website and now thinks he's an expert on the stock market because he has more money than he knows what to do with, so he gambles a lot on stocks. He filed for bankruptcy 20 years ago because of his gambling problems, but now he likes to brag about all the millions of dollars that he's throwing around. And of course, when the market took a dip, he lost a bunch of money. And so then he ran to CNN to say that he might just vote for the Democrats.
Could you see yourself supporting Democrats?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing about me, which drives me crazy, I vote for Trump. I support him. I was never like some crazy MAGA guy. Like I look at each candidate and I choose who I like. I think the left and a lot of even what they did with, I want to say, hiding Biden's mental state and not having a primary really drove me to the right. So I am not somebody who would just strictly vote based on Republican or Democrat. I vote on the people running, how I think they speak to me, the issues that are important to me. But yes, I will vote how I feel is the best interest of what I believe in.
He believes in money. He worships money. That's the only thing that is important to him. This guy is such a clown. He literally doesn't even know how to pound in a nail. Here he is trying to fix the gate at one of his properties so that his little dog doesn't run out in between the slats. Look at how he's holding the hammer. Oh boy. He's wearing safety goggles too to pound in a nail. But speaking of lumber, Chris Matthews, the old MSNBC host who got Me Too'd, I believe, a couple years ago and then fired, he was back on the network and talking about Trump's tariffs and said this.
But there's another thing. I watched on the evening news last night, one of the other networks, and I watched the issue of lumber. Now, you see, we get so much of our lumber, our 2x4s, from Canada. What's where we get it from? Canada. We get our newsprint from up there for newspapers. The fact is we get it. What are we going to do? Have more lumber made in the United States now? What is our plan now? Oh, we're not going to import wood, so we're going to make more wood? We're going to create more wood? Is that it?
Yes, Marble Mouth, we can cut more trees down here in the United States. If you've ever been on an airplane, then you know that there are vast regions of the country filled with forests. And while I do love the environment, I'm not saying that we just go and cut them all down. Of course, we would replant the trees, but yes, Chris, there are trees in the United States we can use. Congressman Al Green, that Democrat Neanderthal-looking guy from Texas, is so upset about the tariffs that he's calling for President Trump to be impeached, as usual. He's been calling for President Trump's impeachment on a regular basis now for almost 10 years.
Impeachment is imminent.
It's eminent.
The filing of articles of impeachment is imminent.
He brought a poster of himself standing up to President Trump. Remember when he got kicked out of President Trump's address to Congress? So he literally printed out a poster of that to bring along to show how strong he is. And counting down to impeachment is imminent.
We are currently in a countdown to impeachment. Now, those who know me know that I wouldn't say this if I were not going to move on with it.
He's been moving on with it for almost a decade. Things are just as off the rails over on CNN. They've been hosting these town hall events with various members of Congress, hoping to get people to actually tune in to that failing network. And they hosted Bernie Sanders this week, and this happened.
Paul, we're back with Senator Bernie Sanders. I want to introduce Grace Thomas. She's a local civil rights attorney. She's a Democrat. Grace?
They, them pronouns, actually. Thank you.
Oh.
Good evening, Senator Sanders. Polling and turnout data indicate that men of all racial...
Like, wait, what? Poor Bernie had no idea what she just said or what she just meant. And he's wondering if he forgot to recharge the batteries on his hearing aid, because hearing such nonsense come out of anybody's mouth is crazy. And these are the kinds of people saying that we're the crazy ones.
Hi, MAGA friend. I hope you're doing okay today. Just a quick reminder of something I know you know in your heart.
That you're a lunatic. You should be institutionalized.
MAGA is a cult. You are welcome to rejoin the rest of us in the real world anytime you want to come back. Be well.
I would rather live on a deserted island with nothing but sand to eat for the rest of however long my life would be than be within 50 miles of you. And now that spring is here and summer is just around the corner, I have released a whole bunch of new tank tops at markdice.com. So you can click on the tanks tab and that'll take you to that page. And you can save 20% off this weekend by using the promo code TARIFF at the checkout. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.